Papi honked the horn, she squealed, tucked a stray curl back behind my ear, and grabbed both my wrists. "They're here!" I yelled. "Aquí están," she echoed. The two of us ran outside together. Mommy cleared all 3 front porch steps in one eager hop, then stopped short on the lawn and wrinkled her nose. After listening to Papi gush about the truck, the flat-top grill and 4-burner stove, the stainless steel walls and brand-new tires, we were expecting a beauty, a champion purebred. This truck looked more like a scruffy shelter rescue, in need of a warm bath and a loving home. The tires were brand new, but everything else seemed dented or dusty. Still,
I'm listening to
Papi
an
stood
audiobook.
smiling in front of the truck, his chest
Taco
puffed up
Queen,
proudly,
Steph Soto.
his
Yeah,
hands
Steph
planted
Soto,
on
Taco
his
Queen.
hips. Mommy and I looked at each other.
I
Then we
muted the
smiled
volume on my
too.
Arsenal.
Until that Saturday morning, Papi had worked as a house painter for a big construction company. He had to leave the house early, sometimes before the streetlights had flickered out, and he always came home with aching shoulders.
That's
At night,
sad.
after he and Mommy had sent me to bed, I would hear them whispering at the kitchen table. "But if I could start something of my own." After a while, those kitchen table whispers grew into a roar of plans and daydreams.
Wow.
Standing over the stove, refrying beans, Papi would suddenly burst. "When I open my restaurant, I'll serve all kinds of beans. Not just refritos, but black beans and frijoles de la olla too." His mother, my abuelita,
Beans.
had taught him to cook when he was my age. She didn't know where he might travel someday, she told him, but wherever he went, he would have her recipes to bring him back home. Now, nothing made Papi happier than sharing that warm, at-home feeling with others. Mommy would
Alright.
spoon Papi's homemade salsa onto her breakfast eggs, take a bite, and then, with her mouth still half full, exclaim, "Mi amor, at your restaurant, you must make your
Why can't
own
I?
salsa.
I can't
Promise
shoot.
me, nothing from a jar." And one sunny afternoon, when I poked around the refrigerator looking for something cool to drink, I asked, "Papi, can there be strawberry soda at your restaurant?" He swept me off the floor and lifted me over his head. "Órale," he shouted. "Strawberry
Yay.
soda, orange soda, grape soda." I giggled, my braids dangling over Papi's nose. "Lime soda, mango soda, cherry soda."
Oh wow.
Mommy shook her head
That's a
at
lot of
us
soda.
and poured me a glass of ice water. That's when we started saving. When the daydreams became so real we could taste them, as sweet and fizzy as strawberry soda. Scrimping was harder than I thought it would be, but also a little like a game, with all of us pitching in to pinch pennies. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner, we ate plain beans wrapped in corn tortillas. So many
I
that
don't
I
like
still
corn
can't stand
tortillas.
them. Mommy stitched patches over the rips in my jeans instead of buying new ones. She also took in sewing projects from the dry cleaners around the corner, gathering needle and thread after dinner, and settling
1924
down to
ping.
repair a seam or fasten a button. I thought I could make some extra money too. Maybe walking dogs or pulling weeds. Mommy and Papi said no to that. Instead, they put me in charge of making sure we never left the lights on in an empty room, and agreed to let me chip in the nickels and pennies I had stashed in my piggy bank.
That's called
I poured
saving.
a silvery stream of coins onto the coffee table, and as the 3 of us sorted them into cardboard rolls from the bank, Papi put his hand over mine and said, "Gracias."
Thank
We
you.
worked and saved for a little more than a year, until one day, while she was reading the newspaper, Mommy stopped and said, She waved Papi and me over and pointed to a small ad in the corner of the page. "Food truck for sale. Used. Good condition." Papi and I agreed. It wasn't a restaurant, but it would be ours, and we had saved just enough.
That's
"It
amazing.
wouldn't hurt just to look," he said. 2 weeks later, the truck was in our driveway. The previous owner had called it La Perla del Mar, the Pearl of the Sea. The name was painted in loopy blue letters across one side of the truck, and it was the only thing that Papi thought really needed fixing. La Perla del Mar sounded like seafood, he thought, and that wasn't the food that brought him back home. We sat on the lawn, Mommy spreading Papi's jacket out between the grass and her green dress,
That's
and
cool.
tried to come up with a new name. Senor Salsa, Mommy proposed. I
That's a good
groaned.
name.
Holy frijoles, Papi suggested. I threw a clump of dried grass at him. He ducked and laughed. And then it came to me.
Well, what's his
Tia
reaction time?
Perla. My parents looked at each other, not sure whether we were still joking.
Tia
No,
Perla.
really, I said, standing up and dusting off my skirt. Listen.
Wow.
It was a name that sounded like home, I told them. Like food cooked from
So she
scratch by
doesn't
your
like her
favorite aunt.
parents' names, but she likes her
Plus,
name.
we won't have to repaint the
Wow.
whole thing. Mommy tilted her head right to left, my idea rolling around her mind like a marble. Tia Perla, she
Tia
said.
Perla.
Papi nodded, slowly at first, and then feverishly. Órale, he growled, hugging Mommy and me tight. Órale.
Órale.
We congratulated ourselves for a few happy minutes, until Papi slapped his palm to his forehead. Almost forgot. He climbed back inside the truck and returned with 3 bottles of strawberry soda. Tia Perla was home and
Bruh.
officially part of the family. Over the next few
Bruh.
weekends, we painted over the seascape that had been airbrushed onto the truck's side, replacing it with bunches of red and white roses. We covered up most of the old lettering, too. Everything but Perla.
Perla.
Papi had lifted me onto a stepladder and handed me a paintbrush.
But isn't
In
that gonna
careful
be...
blue strokes, I wrote, Tia.
That's
5
not gonna
years
be in, like,
later,
the
our
middle.
paint job is faded and chipped, and palm trees from the old seascape are peeking through in places. It needs touching up, I think, as I sketch in the margins of my social studies notes. But who's going to do it? I certainly don't want to spend any more time with Tia Perla than I absolutely have to. Chapter 4.
Sorry, chapter
Julia's
4.
house, behind a tall wrought iron gate, looks like it belongs on a different planet than mine, which is small and painted pink. But really, it's only a few blocks away. Our grandparents were friends back in Mexico, and it was Julia's dad who owned the construction company where Papi used to work. When we were little, before Tia Perla, Mommy used to drive Julia to school every morning and bring her back to our house every afternoon. Julia and I would haul Mommy's old purses and dress shoes to the front porch and pretend we were actresses, or bankers, or spies.
Or spies.
Julia always decided, but it was always pretty fun. Then, when we got to 7th grade, Julia decided she was too old for a babysitter and persuaded her parents to let her take the bus to school. Not the school bus, the real public bus.
That's
She's
still...
the only one in
A
our
school
class
bus
who
is still a
does,
bus.
and it's just about her favorite thing to talk about. She
Oh my
flutters into
god, look
class
at
seconds
me.
after the bell rings, blows her bangs off her forehead, and sighs. Oh, Miss Barlow, I'm so sorry I didn't get here in time, but my bus was running late.
Just use the school
Like it's
bus,
her own
idiot.
personal bus. Or at lunchtime, when she stands at the
Idiot,
end of a
use the school
table,
bus. You
tapping
don't
her
have to
foot on the linoleum
freaking brag
until we
about it.
all take a break from our conversations and look up. You'll never believe, she begins,
You'll
after
never
she's
believe what
sure she
happens
has
on my bus
everyone's
today. Somebody
attention.
killed a person.
What
Oh my
happened
god.
on my bus? Like anyone is even interested. But the thing is, a lot of people are interested. Even me. It's like she's
Idiots.
living the 7th grade version of the glamorous lives we used to act out on my front porch. On Tuesday afternoon,
Idiots.
I see Julia in the hallway, yanking books from her locker and shoving them in her
They're in
backpack.
7th grade and you're still
I can't
bragging about being on a
believe he
bus?
kept us after class. She fumes to Maddie, who's leaning against the lockers and coiling glossy black hair around her finger. Maddie is new this year and glued herself to Julia on the very first day. Arthur knows her from Sunday school, but still, she pretty much left her old reputation behind when she came to St. Scholastica. Was she first pick or last when they chose teams in PE? Was she ever sent home with head lice? Did she always win the spelling bee? If she started wearing feathers in her hair, would everyone else start wearing feathers too?
What the hell? Who would do
We
that?
don't know. Maddie
Are they
has
drunk or
nothing to live
something?
down and nothing to live up to. I'm more than a little jealous. Julia grumbles when she can't get her backpack zipped. I'm going to miss my bus. I consider pretending I didn't hear, but she seems really upset, so I stop next to her locker.
Bruh,
Julia,
you're
if
too
you need a
nice.
ride, my dad can take you home. Julia and Maddie lock eyes for a moment. No thanks. Julia blinks.
Wow.
She slings her navy blue cardigan over her shoulder
That's why you
and goes
shouldn't do
back to
that.
wrestling with her backpack.
You're just gonna get rejected.
I shrug and walk down the hall.
Don't be too nice.
I'm only a few steps away when I hear Maddie ask, "Why don't you just go with her? Didn't
Oh my
you
god,
used to
thank you,
carpool
Maddie.
or something?" Julia slams her locker shut. Seriously? There's just no way. I mean, Steph and her
Wow.
truck smell like old tacos.
Wow.
What is she? The taco queen?
Yes, she is, idiot.
I don't turn around. I pretend not to hear, but my cheeks burn. Julia's always been bossy and kind of a show-off.
Yeah, shut up.
Never straight up
No, but
mean.
no,
I glanced right and then left. No
sure
one's
left.
looking. So I pull my ponytail over my shoulder, bury my nose into it, and take a cautious sniff. Vanilla citrus blossom shampoo. So there. But I have to admit, isn't there just the faintest whiff of burnt tortilla mixed in?
What the hell?
As soon as Papi and I get home a few hours later, I change out of my uniform and throw all of it, white blouse, plaid skirt, blue cardigan, into the dryer, with 3 lavender breeze dryer sheets, just to be safe.
What?
I try not to let Julia get to me.
Why
But
3
after
of
a
them?
week,
That's
I'm
like
still
way
not
too much. You're
convinced I
spending
don't
too
smell
much
like
money on that.
Perla. Before school starts, I wait outside our classroom with my sweater balled up under my arm.
Haha.
I stop Arthur and Amanda before they can step inside. Come over here, I demand,
Over here.
taking them by their wrists and dragging them around the corner. Now, smell this. I shove the cardigan under their noses.
What the hell?
They look at each other, then back at me. Go on, I say,
You're
shaking
crazy.
the sweater. Smell it. They both take a sniff. Okay. Amanda looks up. That was awesome, Steph, and totally not weird at all. Are we allowed to go to class now? But does it smell like tacos? I demand, shaking the sweater again. Am I the taco queen?
What the hell? Why are you
Arthur
offended by
had just
that?
taken a gulp
I
of
love
orange juice
tacos.
from a cardboard carton. It shoots out of his nose and across the tile floor as he bursts out laughing. Taco queen? He sputters,
Yeah, you should.
wiping his hand across his lips. Amanda considers it, then leans in for another smell. Not tacos, she confirms. But I like it. What detergent do your parents use? I roll my eyes. No help at all. As we're walking to Ms. Barlow's room for language arts, I tell them what I overheard Julia say. Arthur can't stop laughing, but Amanda groans. Why would you even listen to her?
Yeah.
You know she just likes being the center of attention.
Yeah,
I
idiot.
nod. Yeah. I know, right?
7th grade drama.
Still, Julia's words cling to me like a stale smell. Amanda has her soccer team, Arthur has his music, Julia has her independence, and it seems like all I have is the Aperla. Somehow, I
Tacos is
have
a
to
really
find a
good
way
food.
to wipe off the stains she's leaving on my reputation. Chapter 5.
5?
Ms. Barlow is finishing a bagel and sipping from a cup of coffee when we find our seats a few minutes before school starts. She wipes a splotch of cream cheese off her lip as she smiles to greet us. We're going to start with a writing exercise, so go ahead and take out your journals while we wait for the bell to ring. I dig mine out of my desk and find a spot on the cover that I haven't already filled with doodles. It's almost always easier to draw my thoughts than to find words for them. The last time we wrote in our journals, I sketched a sailboat bobbing along atop curling blue waves. Now I add a sea monster, surging from the sea to swallow it whole.
Oh, wow.
Nice, Christopher drawls. Do my backpack next? I glance up and find 4 or 5 other kids looking over my shoulder. Yeah? I'm not sure Christopher is serious.
I
I've
forgot
been
I'm on a
trying to
streak of
spend more time
17.
working on my art. Sometimes I think I might even be getting better, but I'm not sure anyone else notices. Suddenly, Julia's squeal from the back of the classroom yanks everyone's eyes off my drawings and reels them back to her. No
Wow.
way! She shakes her head at her cell phone's glowing screen. She's the only 7th grader who's allowed to take it out of her backpack in the classroom. Her
What?
parents had insisted. They gave her the phone for safety reasons, like if she runs into trouble on the bus. She's supposed to text them when she gets to school, and again when she gets home so they know she's all right.
Her parents are so
Not that
gullible.
she's told us all about it a million times or anything. What? Christopher asks. Julia doesn't answer. No way! She screeches again. No way, no way, no way!
Yep.
She screams and hugs her cell phone over her heart. Even Amanda is curious now.
What the heck?
Seriously, what
No,
is
she
it?
just won like a
This is going
TikTok
to be
award.
so amazing. She sighs,
She just like won a
sinking
TikTok
breathlessly
award.
into her chair, but still not giving any hints about what she's talking about. I roll my eyes. If Julia doesn't want to say what's so amazing, fine. I'm not going to beg. But that doesn't stop anyone else. Come on, Maddie pleads. Tell us, what's going on? Oh, no big deal,
Idiot.
Julia finally teases with a toss of her auburn hair. Just that Viviana Vega is coming to town, and I'm getting front row tickets to her concert.
Shut the frick
Maddie
up.
screams. No way,
Nobody
I whisper
likes
to
you.
myself. I
Nobody
look
likes
over
you.
at Amanda, whose eyes are wide with envy or disbelief. Probably both. Only Arthur seems unimpressed. He shakes his head and opens up a music magazine. The only singers he cares about are singers no one else has ever heard of. And everyone has heard of Viviana Vega. The bell finally rings, and Ms. Barlow settles the classroom down to call roll. All right. That's enough, everyone. Julia,
Shut
I'm
up.
not sure Viviana Vega qualifies as urgent. Put the phone away, please.
Yeah.
Find your seats. Let's get started. When Ms. Barlow had passed out our journals on the first day of school, I had expected the usual how I spent my summer vacation kind of assignment. Wrong. The writing prompts she puts on the board are always surprising and sometimes strange. Why me? She wrote once with no further explanation. If you had to spend a
Why
week
me?
living inside any book, which would you choose and why? Write a thank you note to an uncle who sent you a can of chicken soup for your birthday.
What the heck? Who
Compared
does
with
that?
that one,
I
today's
hate.
question seems almost normal.
Kinda don't like chicken soup.
Imagine you can time
I don't like
travel,
hate it.
but your parents don't believe you. How would you convince them?
I would.
I can't convince my parents of anything. I feel like I have plenty to say about today's question, but every time I bring my pen down to write something, the words vanish. Instead, I sit scribbling robots and rocket ships in the margins of my journal until Ms.
Come on, let
Barlow
me
comes
shoot
down the
someone.
aisle in her white canvas sneakers, taps me on the shoulder, and whispers, "Just start somewhere, Steph. Anywhere. Sometimes starting is the hardest part. It's easier after that."
Wow,
I
what
nod
a
and begin.
therapist.
I can't convince my parents of anything. Chapter 6.
Already?
After
That's
language
like the
arts, I have
shortest.
math. And after that, a 10-minute break before
I get like
science, where Mrs.
one
Seros
chapter every
divides
day.
us into pairs for an experiment with baby diapers.
Oh wow,
We're going to continue talking about polymers, which you'll remember are long strings of molecules that can have some very interesting properties, she explains, walking up and down the aisles and around the desks. Some bounce, some stretch. Some are tough and rigid. Today you'll work with a super absorbent polymer. See if you can figure out why it's called super absorbent.
because it's super
We cut
absorbent.
our diapers open, revealing a grainy white powder that we collect in Ziploc
What
bags.
the heck?
When we drop water onto the powder, the granules swell into big blobs.
Oh, that's cool.
Talk to your partners,
I would want that.
Mrs. Seros says. Besides in a diaper, where else might a super absorbent polymer be helpful? How might you use it in a garden, for example?
Sponge.
My partner, Jake, pokes at the
Sponge.
glob of diaper gel on our table. Sick, he
Sponge.
says. I don't know if he means gross or cool. It's kind of both. The subject of Viviana Vega doesn't come up for the rest of the morning, but by lunchtime, the whole school knows about her concert, and tickets are all anyone is talking about. So,
I don't care. Nobody.
Amanda says, smacking her lunch tray down
If it
on the
was my
table
school,
where
nobody
Arthur
would
and I
care.
are already sitting. According to Julia, the cheap seats, she puts air quotes around cheap, are $40 each. I have $10 left
can't
over
jump.
from my birthday.
Why can't
Where
I
are we
jump?
going to get the rest? You could try selling a kidney, Arthur mutters dryly, taking his
I
veggie
can't
burger
jump.
patty out of its bun. You have two. Amanda sticks her tongue out at him, then turns back to me. I'm serious, Steph. We have to be there. I don't
Why
want to
can't
hear
I
all
jump?
about it from Julia Sandoval. We're figuring this out, like today. Just like that, she stands up again, jamming a granola bar in her pocket before I can say anything. If Amanda were a polymer, she'd definitely be the kind that bounces. She's right, though.
What the
It's a
hell?
lot of money. But paying for tickets isn't our only problem. Maybe not even our biggest problem. There's no way Mommy and Papi are
I
going to
can't
let me
jump.
go to that concert without them. And there's no way I'm letting them come along with me. We go from lunch to PE, which seems cruel.
I can't jump.
All I
Do I
want
have
to
to
do is
rejoin?
nap. But at least it's just kickball today. After PE is social studies. And finally,
Alright,
because
I'm
it's
just gonna
Tuesday,
rejoin.
art.